ויהי לי לישועה. עוזי בזמרת ים, 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 ויהי לי לישועה. Page 128, Dodi Li from Song of Songs. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. דודי לי, דודי לי, דודי לי, ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. דודי לי, מי זאת עולה מן המדבר? מי זאת עולה מן המדבר? דודי לי, דודי לי, ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. דודי לי, מקוטרת כמו מור ולבונה, מור ולבונה. דודי לי, דודי לי, דודי לי, ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. דודי לי. Page 134, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, פיתחו ורננו וזמרו. Raise a shout to God, all the earth. Break into joyous songs, songs of praise.
לאדוני כל הארץ,
לאדוני כל הארץ, לאדוני כל הארץ. פיתחו, רננו וזמרו, רננו וזמרו, רננו וזמרו. בחינות בכל זמרה, תפרו לאדוני בחינות בכל זמרה. L'Adonai golaretz, l'Adonai golaretz, l'Adonai golaretz. Yitruku, ranenu vezameru, ranenu vezameru, ranenu vezameru. בחינות וכל זמרה, זמרו לאדוני בחינות וכל זמרה. Page 137 at the bottom of the page. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. May God grant strength to our people. This is very relevant to us. May God grant our people the gift of peace. Adonai oz la'amo yiten. Adonai yivarech et amo. Vashalom, 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 Vashalom.
As we move into Lecha Dodi on page 138, this is a song that welcomes Shabbat. We literally welcome the Shabbat bride. Let us think about each one of us. We join our voices together as community, as one, but each one of us are individual. So how are we as individuals prepared, willing, or needing to welcome Shabbat, this time of rest, relaxation, joy, and just a time out? 138.
Adoni לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכוון אלך כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה
Verse 5.
התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך אורי 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 שתדברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה
Verse 8.
ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יערי בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה אוי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה יאללה לילה 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 לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה
Don't sit down yet. While you are standing, put your Siddurim down. Go introduce yourself to someone you don't know. It's community. It's about getting to know each other. Go introduce yourself.
Outside in the courtyard.
Okay.
ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינות, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך, איש בר לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין את זאת.
Hint, hint, you can get back to your seats.
צדיקת אמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יסגר, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינבון בזבח, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, זוהי ולא עוולה תבוא.
So we love that you are all getting to talk to each other and to know each other. We're not a background band over here, so we're bringing everyone.
Like music.
Yeah. We're bringing everyone back together as we turn to page 142 for the singing of Shalom Aleichem. Again, Shalom Aleichem is welcoming. If you look at the meaning of the first word of each verse, Shalom is, hey, how you doing? Boechem, come in, join us. Baruchuni, bless us. Bless me. Come bless me. And Tzedchem, and then you go. That's what we do. We're saying to the angels, we're saying to Shabbat, come, join us, bless us, welcome us, and then we'll bid you farewell. Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Boachem leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now I'd like to call up, as we conclude the Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming part of the service, I'd like to call up the Moses siblings to come and light our candles. And as we light the candles, think about light represents love, represents hope, represents warmth, and Shabbat. Susie, that's you, and Ari, that's you, and Ruben, that's you. Come on down. I'm stalling as you're coming up. I can just keep on talking. So the longer you come, yeah, there you go. So think about what the light represents for you right now. A lot of darkness going on, a lot of fear. Maybe the light can shine it out.
And so as we are about to light our Shabbat candles, we also light this memorial candle of recognition of all those who are not able to be with us this Shabbat. And we turn to page 118 and 119. If you could just read this English for us, please.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all those who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
We rise now.
Who would like to light the candles? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. And if you'll join together in the bracha.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. Shabbat shalom umevorach.
Shabbat Shalom. We remain standing for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמך רבה.
Amen.
והמה תפרחירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון וביומכון ובחייתכו בית ישראל.
Agala bagala ubizman karim.
ואמרו
Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'alam ulal me'al maya yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה
Brichu
לעילם מן כל בחטא ושירתה.
tuz v'chata v'nechemata damiran be'alma.
ואמרו
Amen.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We continue on page 148, reading together in the Hebrew. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishberotehem barakir kitzono, borei yom v'layla, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. On page 150.
אהבת עולם
אהבת עולם
ישראל
עמך אהבת עמך
תורה ומצוות
תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בטובנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד.
הם חיינו
הם חיינו.
אורך ימינו,
ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה.
ואהבתך אל תסיר
אהבתך
לעולמים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. ישראל אדוני אלוהינו,
אדוני
אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד, מלכותו
לעולם
לעולם ועד.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום הלבביך, ושיננתם בבניך ודיברת בעם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להורות ידיך, והיו לכתובות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בתיר תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the top of page 157, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. Together, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
מי כמוך באלים Adonai, mi kamoch nehedar b'kodesh, mi kamoch ba'elim Adonai, mi kamoch nehedar b'kodesh.
Page 160, the Hashkivenu asks God for protection and giving us strength when we feel threatened, when threatened from the outside and threatened from the inside. So I think many of us are feeling this right now. How do we keep away the sense of fear or anger or distrust? You know, how do we refrain ourselves from going insular? How can we get that protection in order to be able to go out into the world? Page 160.
Adonai Eloheinu, Shalom be'amidenu, Malkeinu lechaim, ufos aleinu, Sukat shlomecha, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו ושמוטטנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ועד עולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, eternal one, whose shelter of peace is spread over us. over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Amen.
On page 162, the words of Veshamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, a brit, a covenant for all times. That is what Shabbat has always been. Page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
And so we rise on page 164 for the Amidah or the Tefillah, our standing prayer, as is our tradition. We will chant the first three benedictions as a community and then continue in silence, whether using the words of the prayer books or the words of our hearts. Feel free to be seated when you've concluded your personal prayer or meditation. Page 164.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם ואלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל אלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא עליון גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע משיב אורך מוריד הגשם מזריח השמש מוריד הטל מחכה חיים בחסד מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים באמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתוג מלך מלך במיתוג חיה ומשמיח ישוע ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללו חסרה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
ratzon imrei fi. Ve'higyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'goali, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו,
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן. שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו,
Michelle's looking terrified because I wrote something. That means, in theory, I will speak slower, but if I speak too fast or too quiet, feel free to say, There we go. Just want to be able to see you all as I speak. So, this morning, we all woke up to terrible news, to yet another violent anti-Semitic attack in Sydney's East Dover Heights, where multiple cars were set on fire, some of which graffitied with horrible statements against the Jews and against Israel. In addition, red paint was smeared all over the previous home of Alex Rivshin, who is the co-chief executor of the Australian Council for Australian Jewry. Was it a direct attack on him, or was it just a really bad coincidence? Still to be determined. But it was clearly a Jewish area, clearly an attack on the Jews. Rivshin said, to target someone's home, someone's sanctuary, someone's family, to engender the lives of the good and the decent Australians who live around here, to light a fire when people are sleeping in their homes, there is evil at work in this country. Many of us know about the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. It's an organization tasked with fighting all forms of anti-Semitism, bias, discrimination, and intolerance by promoting education and understanding about stereotypes, prejudice, and how hate spreads and escalates. The ADL created what they call a pyramid of hate, explaining how expressions of hate spread and build. I have a picture of the pyramid because I didn't have time to write it all down. The bottom level, the foundational level, it looks like this, by the way, is biased attitudes, stereotyping, insensitive remarks, fear of differences, non-inclusive language, microaggressions, justifying biases by seeking out like-minded people, accepting negative or misinformation, and screening out positive information. The second building block on the pyramid is acts of bias: bullying, ridicule, name-calling, slurs, epithets, social avoidance, dehumanization, and biased, belittling jokes. I'm just going to stick with these two for a moment. Since October 7th, 2023, I, like many of you, have heard little slurs, little bits and pieces of things that delegitimize Jews. I hear people say, I have nothing against the Jews, I just have something against Zionists. And when I say, what do you mean by Zionism? They say, well, I know that, the Jews have a line, but I don't like what the Jews are doing to the they have no right to do what they're doing to the Palestinians. Okay, let me tell you what I think Zionism means. Zionism is about a Jewish people's right for self-determination, just like the Palestinians are asking for their right for self-determination. We Jews should understand that more than anybody else. We understand that. Oh, I'm not anti-Semitic, but why is it, even if you don't believe that the Jewish people have a right to determination, why is it that when the UN accepted Israel as a state, you do not accept Israel as a state? All the other states you do, other governments you may or may not agree with. Why is it? How is that not anti-Semitism? Little bits and pieces, little slurs, name-calling, social avoidance. Children that go to non-Jewish schools are excluded from WhatsApp groups, are excluded from parties because they're Jewish. University students in share houses are kicked out because they have the audacity to actually ask and say the Israelites that the rapes and the torture of innocent people on October 7th actually did happen. In fact, I know people. I know people who have died. I know people who have come back. They have the audacity to say that, and so they're kicked out of their homes. Social avoidance, dehumanization, right? Me too, unless you're a Jew, right? So it's horrible that people do these atrocities to women, but Israelis or Jewish women, they don't count? Dehumanization. Bias and belittling jokes. Well, we do it to ourselves all the time. Acts of bias, how do you actualize it? The next layer in the pyramid, discrimination. Economic discrimination, people losing their jobs because they're Jewish or because they are fighting for Israel's right to defend itself, or they're fighting for the hostages to be returned home. Political discrimination goes on both sides. Educational discrimination, there are curriculums that are being written that literally change the map. And it's allowed. I've had members of our congregation come to me saying they've been relief teachers in schools in different areas, not around here, saying that when I'm teaching history or geography, they gave me a map. Israel didn't exist. It said Palestine. It didn't exist. Rewriting history. It's being taught to children in our schools here in Australia. Employment discrimination. Not going to hire you if you call yourself a Zionist. Housing discrimination and segregation. I know people that are afraid to literally go out and find a place to live, or a shared house, young people, because they're afraid of being excluded. They're afraid of not being able to be free to be themselves. Criminal justice disparities. Why is it that when people break laws against Jews that are the laws in this country, there hasn't been, until very recently, prosecution or action in universities. That's the third level of the pyramid. Next, bias-motivated violence, murder, rape, assault, arson, terrorism, vandalism, desecration, and threats. I know early on I got a random call, I can't say it in a microphone or out loud, swearing at me, you Jew, and blah, 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 threatening. How did that person get my phone number? I don't know. I know many other people. There was a time, I haven't heard about it in a while, where we got random calls just because we're Jewish. We were on a list somewhere, the doxing, Josh Burns' office, what's happening in Sydney. The top of the pyramid. I say this not because I believe this is happening or where we're heading, but this is the ADL pyramid and explaining how hate spreads. Genocide, the act or intent to deliberately and systematically annihilate an entire people. Again, I'm going to reiterate, people who accuse Israel of genocide don't understand what the meaning of the word of genocide is. People can criticize Israel's violence and aggression against Gaza and against the Palestinians. They can criticize that. But if you call Israel and what they're doing genocide, we don't understand what the term means. Israel never calls for the elimination of all Palestinians or all Muslims. Never once have Israel done that. So I say this because it's important for us to understand these things and to kind of make sense and look at the escalation of hate that's going on. What I find really interesting in this week's Parsha, Shmot, we begin the Sefer Shmot is the book of Exodus, and we begin the Exodus narrative. In the first chapter, right at the beginning, it says this: "A new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, 'Look, the Israelite people are much too numerous for us. Let us deal shrewdly with them so that they may not increase. Otherwise, in the event of war, they may join our enemies in fighting against us and rise from the ground.' So they set taskmasters over them to oppress them with forced labor, and they built garrison cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they increased and spread out, so that the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites. The Egyptians ruthlessly imposed upon the Israelites the various labors that they made them perform. Ruthlessly, they made their life bitter for them with harsh labor, mortar and bricks, and all sorts of tasks in the field. The king of Egypt spoke to the midwives, one of whom was named Shiphrah and the other Puah, saying, 'When you deliver the Hebrew women, look at the birth stool. If it is a boy, kill him. If it is a girl, let her live.'" So, I don't know if any of you went through this and looked at Pharaoh's actions and how they paralleled the pyramid of hate. Pharaoh first started creating an us and them, right? Let us deal with them harshly. I have been saying this since I started, actually since before I came here. Get rid of the binary dialogue. It is not about us or them. We are all Australians. It is okay to show compassion for Israelis and Palestinians. It's okay to show compassion for other people. It doesn't mean we do this. This is not a Jewish problem. This is an Australian problem. This is a worldwide problem, anti-Semitism. It's not us and them. That's the first step that Pharaoh did. Bias attitudes. Pharaoh suggested oppressing them, reducing their freedoms, and separating them for others. We Jews who live in our own imposed ghetto or who live outside feel safer. Many people were afraid to go out for a long time, right? Are we not allowed to? I don't know where it comes from, but if we create those barriers, those separations, we forget that we're Australian. We don't feel safe in these spaces. I've said this, I'm going to say it again when you do the announcements, Jackie, about Pride, right? It's really important for us as Jewish Australians, I know I say that sounding with my accent, but us as Jewish Australians to be able to be out in the Australian community fighting for values that we as Jewish Australians stand for. Let them not define who we are, let us define who we are and be part of a whole people. acts of bias, discrimination, right? Eventually, Pharaoh sought to eradicate them, kill every male. If you kill males and leave the women, you're going to lose the people. Genocide. This is not meant to incite fear, but it's meant to highlight what's happening here in Australia and around the world is an ancient problem and pattern. Our job is to recognize it and call it out before we get to the top of the pyramid. Alex Rifshin said, I am a Jew, my wife is a Jew, my children are Jews. Being Jewish is my biggest source of pride. No amount of paint or graffiti or fires will frighten us. Rifshin reminds us that as we face and experience the increase of hate, bias, and anti-Semitic actions, we are reminded that our strength lies in numbers, in coming together as a community, and in our personal Jewish identity. As I keep saying week after week, beware of letting anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism define who we are and what we stand for. Be proud of who we are as Jews. Connect with our Jewish homeland and our Jewish people's right to live with a sense of security and peace. Do not let fear or hate cloud who we are and what we stand for as Jews and as Australians. The Israelites escaped Pharaoh. We will get through these tough times as well. We rise for the Aleinu on page 586, 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים למלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך
We remain standing as our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones and those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. We recognize the passing in the last day of Nili Palti, who will be laid to rest in the forthcoming days. In the period of Shiva, we recognize Rabbi Michael Fox, Joel Nathan, Jack Seton, and Joseph Spring. In the period of Shloshim, John Buckley, Michael Cohen, Skit Jason, Ruth Moses, Tony Zipper. And we recognize the yahrzeits that fall this week. Moshe ben Yaakov, Sophie ben Tata, Boris Borovic, Lola Bresna, Samuel Cohen, Warren Dabchik, Daniel Einstein, Faye Epstein, Joan Griffiths, Tom Griffiths, Josephine Grossbard, Maurice Gurovich, Sam Khan, Diana Khan, Louis Lustig, Margaret Markey, Morris Perlow, Sidonie Pollack, John Rosenthal, Tsipa Ribolov, Lucy Same, Ichiel Schwartz, Robert Semple, Paul Sinclair, Boyard Taft, Chester Troy, and Diana Wolfe. If there are other names that you'd like to share, please call them out as I look around the room. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing along with all those dying so unnecessarily in conflicts, whether in Israel, in the Middle East, in Ukraine or elsewhere. May their memories be for a blessing as we join together on page 598 in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן קל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel and to all of humanity. And we say Amen. Jackie, a few announcements before we make Kiddush.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I have two main announcements. Firstly, I wanted to mention that it is on the little brochure that you get when you come in on the 31st of January. That's 2 Fridays away. We will be celebrating our diverse community with a Pride Shabbat as part of the Midsummer Festival. Hannah has gone to the trouble of organising pink TBI Pride T-shirts that are very cool. I took mine home today. And we'll be marching with them as a group on Sunday, the 2nd of February. So please, it was so beautiful to hear everyone singing in the Friedlander tonight. We want to fill out the main sanctuary and we want to sing the roof off. So please make sure you come along and bring any friends along as well. It's a big community gathering and we do have a pre-neg starting at 5 p.m. before the service and you're all welcome to that too.
And we want a big progressive Jewish presence at the
march.
Let the Australian and the LGBTQIA plus community know that we stand with them and we are Australian. It's important.
And the only other thing I wanted to say was, may all the hostages be returned as soon as possible. Amen.
So close. All of them. Every single one.
And so I'm going to invite everyone to rise as we join together in the words of Kiddush and Motzi. You will find at the back of the hall we have white, which is grape juice, and red, which is wine, if you'd like to partake. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחיל לנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
Can we get all of the children that are here that have not left to come stand right here with me? You guys get to be front and center, first dibs on the challah.
You get to put your hand on the challah as we say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המוציא לחם מן הארץ אמן. שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת 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 שלום, שבת שבת
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.